Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Khandaan, a Bollywood podcast. And we are doing one of our. We still don't know what this is called, by the way. I think we're just still calling it like news in brief or something over on Patreon. But a big welcome to, our friend Beth from Beth Loves Bollywood. Are you still updating the
No.
blog?
No.
No. This is the cycle of life, right? But it's still one of my favorite blogs. It's how Beth and I met. Did you meet her on Twitter, Asim? Is that how you know
No,
her?
it's literally from commenting on blogs. I was in
Uh-huh.
Paris at that moment, and
Wow.
finding a community that used to happen on the internet. You would find like-minded people and get along, which seems like a completely foreign concept of what the internet is now. And
Yeah.
like that movie Prometheus, where this alien comes in and it puts something in the water, and then that's where life is created. Beth's blog is that Prometheus seed that has created so many blogs and podcasts, and where we all got together. And I was literally explaining this to a few friends that I met up this weekend. So yeah, Beth is the original. She's the Prometheus of all Bollywood blogging, pretty much, and that's where
Which could not be more bizarre.
It
No,
is.
but it's true because like right before we started recording this, she was talking to me about this site called Desi Critics, and I haven't thought about Desi Critics in a long time. But I discovered Beth on Desi Critics because I was the entertainment editor, and she was writing her blogs and she was publishing it on Desi Critics at the time.
That's
And I was
right.
like, my God, I love her. We should be friends.
And we are.
And now we are. But yeah, like great things happened in the early years of the internet before everyone decided that it must be monetized. Nobody can have fun unless we monetize it. And here we are today.
Speaking of which, join our Patreon.
Like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that it can increase in reach.
Bell icon. That's also something.
Oh yeah,
Bell
oh yeah, bell icon. Do we still have a bell icon? Like I can't remember.
I'm just saying random stuff now.
We do.
But you should join our Patreon though, because we do have like really great stuff on there, and I feel like that's the place where we are most authentically ourselves, and we do like a lot of fun stuff. Like I do these catch-ups. Asim drops these letterboxed reviews that I think it's like some sort of like, I don't know, it's like Netflix is a emotional support animal or something, because he watches like more content than any human being should in their right mind. Really. I don't.
It's if you take like a strip of acid and then you just go through like these old DVD stores that we used to have and just grab random stuff. That's how I watch media still. And that's what I then present as content on Patreon. It goes from Jodorowsky movies to Farah Khan to like John Woo. Like what is this man even watching?
And it's all somehow very specifically you, which I love, right? Like you were saying, that's where you're the most yourselves. That is it. I love it.
Yeah. And it's always like, it's like a mix of like Desi content, but also like French stuff and like Chinese stuff. Like it's like very awesome. Like I love it. But anyway, coming back to our Patreon. So one of the catch-ups that I did. So my catch-ups are basically just me talking about things that are happening in Bollywood right now or in the world at large. And I'm just sort of like talking about like what's on top of my mind right then, right? And that was when some of the people on Patreon discovered that I don't really care for Kriti Sanon, and we are not a Kriti Sanon fan cast. Let's put it that way.
I wanted to react to that just before, Kriti Sanon is besmirched on Khandaan. I like Mimi with the nunchucks. I really like Kriti, and I think
Asim just likes hot girls. Like that's basically his thing. Like, are you a hot girl? Well, Asim's a fan.
No, I think she's done some great work, from Bareilly to the one where she was a twin, Dopati, I think it's called. I'm really looking forward to her new one with Dhanush. I think she's really doing something interesting there. I just don't think the problem with Kriti is that Alia Bhatt is around and she gets all of the premiere. It's like that Leonardo DiCaprio problem. Like every other actor will get Leonardo's rejects, and now it's Timothy Chalamet, I would say. So we're living in a Alia Bhatt era, unfortunately, and whatever kind of filters through, then Kriti gets. So that's my defense. I really do like Kriti, and I'm sorry that I was mean to her when I interviewed her.
So why were you mean to her?
Just like, it was Varun's fault, man. Varun Dhawan's fault when we were talking Dilwale and we started talking about Star Wars, and I felt I wasn't as nice as I should have been because I really like Kriti. So go watch that interview and let me know if I was nice enough to Kriti or not.
Well, putting that aside, so I was telling this person on Patreon that actually Beth has a really great story about Kriti. And whatever my feelings about, like, I'm anti-Kriti. Like, it's not like I see Kriti and I just change the channel. It's just that I don't think she's acted in anything that particularly connected with me or made me go like, wow, like this is like somebody that I really stan, right? And I think in her personal life, I think she's probably like a really nice person. She's always come across as somebody who's very grounded, somebody who's very real. And I appreciate that about her. And the thing that I really remember is this story that Beth had to say. And I think, that's I think the root of my positive feelings for Kriti come from this particular story. So Beth, you want to tell the people about the time that you met Kriti Sanon?
I do. I have interacted with Bollywood celebrities twice. Once was with Amrita when we threw ourselves at Shashi Kapoor at Prithvi Theatres when he was extremely old and ill. And it was still like one of the highlights of my entire life. And then the other time is when, back to the blog connection, our friend Greta, who wrote the Memsab story blog, who through various work-related channels actually is friends with Raju Hirani. And Greta and I were in India together in 2016, and he had been invited to a special screening of the MS Dhoni movie, and he invited us. And so, of course, we went. And this was at Sunny Deol's Super Sound Villa production studio screening thing, which I didn't even know was a thing until we arrived there. And being deposited at a place in Raju Hirani's giant SUV is an interesting experience, which I encourage everyone to have if you ever get the opportunity. So at the interval of the movie, we head to the ladies' room, and Greta got stuck in the toilets. The door wouldn't open. And everyone is like tugging on the door. She's trying to think if she can climb over. Like it's this whole thing. And everyone's also in line to use the loo. And Kriti Sanon was there because I believe at the time she was either about to date Sushant Singh Rajput, or they were in a film together coming up or something anyway. So she was there and they were sitting next to each other right in front of me, actually. And so she came in, and like a true heroine, she is the one who manages to tug the door open because she's the one who probably works out the hardest of everyone in the line. And this is 2016, so her career is quite nascent at the time. And she's the one who's able to free Greta from the toilets. And hero. Very what Sunny Deol would do, although in a more moderate form, I think. Like nothing was thrown, no trash cans were hurled or anything like that. But I will always think of her fondly for that because she did not have to do that. And she did.
Yeah.
That's a really like that's a friend. That's a friend in need. Friend indeed.
So I remember this story, right? Like so at the time that Beth and Greta were watching this movie in Bombay, I was watching it in London for You Podcast, which was the show that Asim used to do. And I was watching it and I was being I don't know, something about that movie just brought out like weird things in people because I was at that screening and it was at the Fox Studios in Soho. And I remember there was this woman at the interval. There's like a little buffet because it was a press screening, I guess. And there was this very tall, very beautiful woman who was standing in line at the buffet. And I remember looking at her and being like, oh, I know this person, but I can't remember what her name is. So I'm just going to go and like say like hi and everything. And I went up to her and I was like, hi. And she was so taken aback, but then she was very polite. And she was just like, oh, yeah, like, oh, and this is my husband. And she introduced me and everything. And then it wasn't until later that I realized it was Nina Manuel, whom, like, maybe like you guys don't know who that is, but she was like the first supermodel in India. And I remember her from the clubs back in Bangalore at the turn of the century. And she really was not a clubber. Like, I remember her being like really disengaged and disinterested in being at the club. And I was like 18 and I was just like, my God, like what's wrong with this woman? And that's what I remember about her. Anyway, so I remember Beth telling me this story, and I'm just like, I'm really glad that Greta wasn't stuck in a bathroom at
Can you imagine
Sunny Studio.
what a weird, of all the places to have the door not open.
It feels.
But then when she told me the story, it also made like my spider senses tingle, because I was like, why is it that the Deols have this screening room and it's a pretty big deal? Like everybody used to go to that, whatever it was called, the Sunny Sound Stage or Vijeta Studios or whatever it was called, and they used to do their screenings there. So I was like, why can't they afford to fix their bathroom locks? You know, like something isn't quite right. Cut to 10 years later, and then we discover that Sunny Deol's house has a lien on it. Like, you know, he's in financial trouble. You know, he can't pay off his loans. He's like heavily in debt. And I'm like, oh, that's what it was all about.
So Kriti took Sunny Deol's studio down basically by breaking the door, which oddly feels like a
She may
very
have.
Priya Darshan setup story, that the way you've told it, you know, like literally everybody tugging on the bathroom door. And I also feel like, you know,
Yeah.
I've been calling, you know, Kriti Mimi with the nunchucks for a while. I should call her Bathroom Avenger from now on, you know. I think like,
Why didn't we all like fall over backwards in a line, all the aunties, and then Greta and me
Yeah.
and everything? I don't even remember who the other women were. I didn't recognize any of them.
Oh, it's a
because
Priya Darshan movie. It's not important.
Yeah, all the stars who were there were men, but I don't remember who all the other women were in the bathroom. That was choice.
So talking about stars who are men and, you know, like Bollywood. Bollywood strongmen. Ranveer Singh has a new movie out and it's called Dhurandhar, and none of us have seen the trailer,
No,
but
it's basically, it's the movie's not out. The trailer just dropped. It
Yeah.
is going to be the big release. I think there's a few big releases coming out this year. The rest were pretty much done. We're cooked, as the young kids say. But I've not watched it because we want to do a live reaction on the trailer, but I feel the conversation has already been very loud and toxic. So I've been trying to stay away from Twitter and everything and everybody's hot takes. I know that I will be going into this very biased already. I saw some video clips of Ranveer Singh dancing with Don Jr. Trump and his wife on stage the other day. So just putting that in there, what kind of man this is.
this is just random shit. Like it's like I don't even understand what's happening right now.
Yeah, I'll post the clip in the show notes. It annoyed me to a point where I was like,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm just saying, people will say bias, Pakistani bias, but I'm just like preemptively saying I will be biased. So let's try this trailer and see what's going on here. Yeah.
Okay, no.
Shut it down here. You don't know.
Yeah, no, thank you.
If the
Disgusting.
glasses are coming off. So looking
No.
forward to the movie, I get, Amrita.
This is 100% going to be one of those movies that I never watch.
Mm,
Absolutely.
mm.
Like, no. I I genuinely thought like the Twitter discourse was over the top, where they were just like, "Oh my God, this is so violent! Like, why would like?" And I was just like, "We've been doing this for a while."
Mm.
But if this is literally like they don't even have the millennial pause, but they head right into I'm gonna like skin this man. No, that's not for me.
Yeah.
It has like nothing to do with like India, Pakistan, or any of those things. Like, I will not watch something that is that violent. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna do it.
Yeah.
There's just too much violence in the world already, and I don't need to inflict this on myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shall we watch the Nilofer one then? If you want?
Well, can I ask
Yes.
though, why is Akshay Khanna in this?
Uh,
Money?
And I am well on record as being a big fan of Akshay Khanna, but what is he doing in this?
I think this is so this is Aditya Dhar's next movie after Uri. He's this is mounted on a massive budget. It is it's about, you know, Ranveer kind of being a spy within the Liari Karachi gangs, which is just has nothing necessarily to do with India. I don't think so, but it was like an internal Pakistani gang war. But great, you know, like they've added this layer to it.
So your family is from Karachi, right, Asim?
Yes, we're all correct.
So did you know about the Liari gang wars?
I know. I mean, I've heard of them, but I've not like.
Mm.
And there was a lot of lamentation on, like Twitter, Pakistani Twitter, that, you know, why are we not able to make these stories? Why
Yeah.
aren't we not able to pull these
Yeah.
projects together? And there was even a Twitter account that was mentioning they had tried to pull this project together around 5-6 years ago, and they couldn't find funding. And Netflix India or Netflix doesn't allow too much Pakistani content. Content, they don't fund it, they don't distribute it.
Hmm.
It's very, very hard. So yeah, I think it's just kind of the ecosphere, the kind of, although it is weird because like Mola Jat was a very violent movie, so it's not necessarily the violence of it that is not workable, because Mola Jat was one of the biggest successes Pakistani cinema has ever seen. But it took years for Mola Jat to be made, right? So, and
And
you
also, Mola Jat was basically funded by the guy that made it.
yeah.
Like, it was, and you know, it's a very, I think I've seen this happen. I don't know about Pakistani music now, but definitely Pakistani music when I was growing up was very much about these like really rich kids who
Still is.
were in bands in their garages and putting out music. It was like great music.
Yeah.
And we were all into it, but they were very much not like, you know, like normal Pakistanis, so to speak. They were all like really rich kids who could afford to produce their
Yeah.
albums and like, you know, publicize it whatsoever. And I think like that's also the thing that happened with Mola Jat,
Yeah.
where like a really rich guy made this really great movie that I enjoyed a lot, um, despite its violence. But then the violence in Mola Jat, even though it is very violent, it's not this kind of violence, is it? Like it's not like a real violence. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's more like, let's say, Tarantino-esque kind of violence, right? That I would like. I think that's maybe like a kind of an over-the-top way of shooting things, and like blood is splattering all over the thing. But I think this me. I mean, I don't think you can take away the context of Indian storytellers that have made a movie like Uri before, and you know, Ranveer Singh has a track record of making movies that are kind of have a tinge of anti-Pakistanness to it or anti-Muslimness to it. So again, them coming together for this one, I just think so. It's Sanjay Dutt is in there. I think Arjun Rampal is in there. Akshay Khanna is in there,
Khanna.
and all of these men are, I'm guessing, glad to be part of a marquee kind of project, which has like a big cast together and like, you know, big resources and clearly a lot of blue filters while shooting it. And yeah, blue filters are great when you're aging, you know, it kind of takes away the wrinkles.
Is this something that you would consider watching, Beth?
No. No, I feel like you. This looks horrific in a way that I I'm having a hard time thinking of a story that would compel me to sit through this much violence. I can't think of anything.
Yeah.
This is not it.
Okay, so I guess I'll watch the trailer on my own then.
Is this something that you would watch, Asim?
Um, I want I yes, I think I'll probably end up watching it and reviewing it on the podcast. I the thing is because I'm one of those guys. I want to hear what is like what the narrative is and
Yeah.
engage with it more. I'm not a cancel person. Like even if I'm not agreeing with the filmmaker or the stance of it, I will still watch it to engage with it. I'm not going to be necessarily positive about it. I will point out what bothers me about it, but I don't I might end up watching it. I don't think that's going to be a problem for me.
I look forward to you telling me about it because I'm definitely not watching it because I had this thought that basically a lot of the mainstream movies that we are seeing today they are not just masculine coded or like like sort of like coded specifically for men, but to the point where they are exclusionary of women,
Hmm.
you know. And I know that we are now living in a more um, testosterone, like heavy environment, whether it's in India, whether it's in Pakistan, whether it's in the United States, definitely the UK, like all of these places around the world, right? Like we are living in the age of manly men right now, but it's going to a point where I don't know as a woman how to engage with some of the art, so to speak,
Hmm.
that is being presented. Um, and I think it is beginning to feel deliberate because there's a lot of stuff that you see where you're like, well, I don't know, maybe this just comes from a place of like genuine feeling because you can be an Islamophobe and be like a very genuine Islamophobe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's coming to a place where I don't feel like any of this is authentic. I feel like all of this is very carefully constructed for a very specific audience of which I am not a part.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's not that I'm trying to cancel these things or that I refuse to engage with them because I disagree with it. It's that I will not subject myself to something that is specifically and artificially engineered to provoke a response from me that I don't want to give it.
I think it's also just coming from the fact that, because Beth, we were talking about this, that we come from this era of blogging and engaging and with things that we find fun and that we want to love. We want to go watch movies that we want to enjoy, right? And if
Yeah.
they're actively making a movie, like I watched this and I'm thinking this is like Eli Roth's Hostel or something like that, a movie that I've never watched. I have no interest in watching necessarily, right? But that level of gore, and especially body horror, to kind of make maybe they're trying to make a larger point. I'm guessing the larger point is that Pakistanis are evil, but yeah, it needs to be something that at least you can enjoy on a base level. We're not here to make a living out of being content creators, right? We have jobs, so why engage with something that we're not getting paid for, right? So for me, it's really more the love of cinema and I think also just being a man, you can engage with things a bit easier because they're clearly catered to a certain aspect of masculinity that I can tap into, but I'm not necessarily a part of. So yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Asim is so not a part. I know
Yeah.
masculinity.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Let us be clear.
I'm a green flag.
There's
Talking
also just
about
like a really juvenile nature to some of this, it seems, right? Like the
yeah.
people who insist on being button pushers and pot stirrers for no actual
Yeah.
useful purpose or meaningful or significant purpose. I do not too old for this.
It's not in good
why
faith.
should I give them my
It's
energy?
not even
No.
like if you are pinning for a reaction, for a debate,
Exactly.
for whatever, it's not one done in
Exactly.
good faith. And then it's
That's
like,
right.
what are we even then engaging in, right?
Right.
Correct. Okay, moving on to happier things. Asim, what is our episode of the week about?
So we're talking about One Two Ka Four, Shah Rukh's movie with Juhi Chawla and Jackie Shroff. We invited Beth on because Sujoy is still traveling, and we decided we wanted to watch like a younger Shah Rukh, I guess. Although
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that qualifies as a younger Shah Rukh. But the second category was that it has to be on Netflix so we can watch it easily. And by the way, Netflix has dropped a bunch of movies. I recently rewatched Kalapathar, which has an amazing print of Netflix, which I hadn't seen in a while. But we didn't talk about
Favorite.
Kalapathar at all on the podcast. We ended up talking an hour and a bit about One Two Ka Four, which I had lots of notes about and lots of thoughts about. And if there is a space where you feel One Two Ka Four has not been analyzed film critically, well, that place is Khandaan Podcast, and you should follow us where podcasts stream.
Yeah, we are podcasting on every platform where you can get your podcast. You can follow us on Apple, on Spotify, on Amazon. Like people keep asking me still, like, "Oh, are you on Spotify?" Yes, we're on Spotify, and we're huge on Spotify. So you should go listen to us wherever you get your podcast, right? But what Asim just said right now is a little bit of revisionist history, because what Beth actually said was um, she doesn't want to do a Salman Khan movie.
You're right.
Asim tried his
I
best.
tried.
So yeah. So Beth, was it fun to watch a young Shah Rukh movie again?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Any movie that starts with a somersault out of bed is worth a watch.
You know, the other day I was going through something like some file folder, and you know who I found? I found Mini Khan.
He's right here. I should have brought him. He's in the other room. He watches whatever I'm watching. So
Do you want to tell people about Mini Khan?
yeah, Mini Khan is a Barbie scale doll of Shah Rukh Khan. They made these like 15 years ago or whatever. There was Ritik, Priyanka, and I think Kajol was the other one, or Bipasha maybe. And I somehow managed to snag one of these on eBay. And for a while, he was traveling around the world, being sent from Indian film blogger to blogger. And Amrita and I have taken him to Darjeeling and given him a good hero pose with the mountains in the background. So he's my constant companion, and angel or devil on the shoulder, depending on the topic.
It's one of my favorite memories of like Mini Khan going to Darjeeling and sort of like taking in, the Satyajit Ray, views.
We took him
But
to Ventnors, and he sat on
yes,
the rooftop with us. Yep.
yes. He did all the classic things. He went for a walk down the hillside. He took in views of the Kanchenjunga.
His bakery treats were stolen by a monkey also.
Yes, it was all very Darjeeling. But also before we leave, I just want to talk a little bit about Kalapathar because Asim saw it, and it is one of Beth and my like all-time favorite movies starring Amitabh Bachchan and Rakhi. Like it is so good, and people don't seem to understand that it is like the best.
Why don't they understand?
I don't get it.
I think it's the soundtrack. It's not doesn't have a banger except the Shadi song. It needs something to kind of elevate it. I also wonder about the Shashi Parveen Babi.
It's not the strongest.
It's not the strongest pairing, and Shatrughan Sinha looks ridiculous when he runs. I have to say, it's something that I pinpointed watching Shatrughan Sinha run. You can only be a star if you run like a star. You have to have a star run. Shah Rukh has a star run. Salman has a star run. Tom Cruise has a star run. Shatrughan Sinha has not got a star run, and that's why he was never a star. That's the reason.
I'm going to rewatch the movie just for that.
I just analyzed it for you. A question
Thank you.
you've been wondering for so many long years. I've laid it down in 30 seconds why Kalapathar is not up there with the Sholays and the, whatever else.
It's one of those when people talk about what a Yash Chopra film is, I always want to say, but also this, because it is the opposite of so many of the other things that that we tend to know him for now, the romantics, right? Like, where was this?
Well, like one of my favorite bits from that movie though is that song in the rain where it's playing in the background and Amitabh and Rakhi are he's walking her back home from, like, she's a doctor, she's just gone to see a patient, and he's holding an umbrella for her and her doctor's bag, and they're not touching, and there's a song playing in the background, somebody's singing, and they're just walking, and that's all they're doing. They're walking in the rain. And here's how you know that Amitabh and Rakhi are stars, right? Because all they're doing is walking, and they have sizzling chemistry.
Yeah.
And it's so great, and only Yash Chopra could have done that,
Also, just the fact, because we tried watching the Dhurandhar trailer right now, and we were talking about masculinity. Kalapathar has the idea that the main protagonist is a coward, and how does he deal with that? And I was thinking how complex of a narrative that is, and that kind of nuance is just lacking in today's cinema, right? Like, you are never a coward. A man can never be a coward in this day and age, right? And that is kind of, maybe that's a complexity. Even then, didn't work as well. That's why Kalapathar is not up there with the pantheon of either Yash Raj or Yash Chopra or Amitabh movies. But it's a complex movie, right? And I would again say I'd not seen it in ages, and Netflix has a pristine print. It looks so good, guys. It's so good. So if you haven't watched it, go watch it, because these Raj movies are not eternally on Netflix. They're literally there for a couple of weeks. So pick them out, go watch them. Kabhi Haan Kabhi Na is on there too with a really nice print. So now's your moment.
And these are the kinds of recommendations that you can find on the Khandaan Patreon, which you can join for as little as $1 at patreon.com/Khandaan podcast. Right? Beth, you want to tell the people a little bit about Filmi Ladies before we go?
Sure. So Filmi Ladies is a podcast in its 4th year that I do with Pitu of Sultan on Instagram and other places, and on Khandaan as a guest in the past. And we try to look at either movies that feature women or women in movies, or movies that we think have something interesting to say about women. And we've been doing a series on different women superstars. We're about to record one on Vidya Balan. So we're coming up to present day in our series. We'll go back and scoop up some more people as time goes on. But yeah, we've been debating, do we want to do one on Priyanka or not? Is she a superstar? And I think we're going to decide we don't want to, but it's highly subjective, this process.
Right. Hit like, comment, subscribe, do all the things that YouTube likes you to do, and then head over to Beth and Pitu's Filmi Ladies, where they are talking about intro to Bollywood. Is it
some film recommendations for beginners that you can share with your friends who have been asking you for them, and also maybe we're going to talk about something in that series of 10 films that you have not seen yet either. So
yeah, so you can basically compare and contrast between their list and our list, and you can see what the changes might be. So yep, that's us for this week. Thank you all for watching. Watch out for our episode on 124 dropping on every single audio podcast platform that you can think of. Just go there, it'll be there. Listen to it, it'll be fun. And join us next week. Till then, bye-bye.